When you think about what makes a city run, you tend to think about the bricks and mortar. Has to have a good subway system, transportation, it's got to have resources, water, and things like that. But one thing that's often missing and people don't naturally think about is an ongoing commitment by individuals to work on behalf of the public.
In 1978, when the foundation began, the two Elis, Ginsberg and Evans, came up with a brilliant way to realize this vision. And it was called the Revson Fellows program. And the idea was genius. Could we bank on this talent pool that is absolutely necessary to the thriving of New York City? Could we bank on this talent pool in a way that gives them a year of learning, thinking, dreaming about what they can do to make New York City a better place at this incredibly rich intellectual environment called Columbia?
And so we began the Revson program on a dream, honestly. I think the most crucial element in it was the conversation with Mike Sovern, in which he said that yes, they would be willing to waive tuition for this program because we could never have afforded it had Columbia not embraced it as a program of its own, as important for Columbia as a part of the community of New York.
Someone who has been chosen to be a Revson and who has gone through that program was chosen because they had a commitment to and have actually invested in the improvement of New York City.
Like many advocates, I felt like I was good at what I did, but I could be a whole lot better, and I was like making it up as I went along. And so it seemed to me ideal to be able to take a year off and try and improve my skills and my insights.
It became very clear that it was the right space and time for me to develop both the academic background that I needed to understand policy issues, but also to explore some of the concerns that I had around how to better engage immigrants in the political process in New York City.
I was getting totally burnt out. I really had a need for taking a break. I really needed to develop some additional organizing skills.
My work here is very local, it's very community oriented, but I really didn't understand the policies that sort of cause the problems in the community level. The Revson Fellowship has given me that time and that space to kind of explore the big picture.
You have people who have made an enormous service to the city for most of their lives. They take a step back, they come to a university, which really provides them a chance to reflect, and then they go back into the world, transformed, I think, fundamentally.
My year at Columbia was a blast. I took about 2/3 of the program in the journalism school.
Urban planning with Wagner Jr. He knew the city inside and out, and it was just a gift to be able to get his perspective and have that sort of influence how I then saw the city and have engaged it.
I took a course at Union Theological on Reinhold Niebuhr. I took a Russian law course at the law school.
A class in oral history at the library.
I took a class called Structures, Systems, and Materials in the Historic Preservation Department. We had a midterm where we had to tour some specific buildings on campus and identify the materials that they were made of. Even though it was very cold, I thought that was probably the most exciting midterm I'd ever taken.
With the right kind of advisors in the Revson office, you have a gateway to this university. You can do everything from art to journalism to political science to public health, all kinds of things. And there was just a handful of institutions in the world that offered that opportunity.
So people are coming to the university both for an individual, contemplative plan of study, and also to work as a group and feed off each other and then use that moment where they can learn from each other to go back into the city.
You know, the folks at the program and my classmates, they gave me confidence again to go forward with the work.
We would have these really wonderful and, again, fascinating discussions about issues that were confronting the city. A lot of smart people, a lot of experienced people, committed and dedicated people, sitting down and discussing these issues in detail.
This fellowship for me was kind of that perfect step. Just to be back on the campus and to be, just to go into the library and just find a little nook somewhere to study, or have that time where I was sort of alone and separate from sort of the day-to-day hustle here in the city.
That kind of access to individuals and hearing their point of view is just great.
The most immediate impact of becoming a Revson is that you join a huge network of other folks. There is a kind of solidarity that you feel with people who have dedicated themselves to improving the lives of New Yorkers.
We take the alumni component of Revson very seriously because we believe that when you go through the program, you actually are a teacher to the next generation. And over 30 years, we now have almost 300 teachers. So anyone who comes through the program never feels that they're alone.
We are all over and we connect to each other and we care about each other. Every day I have an email coming from the Revson email lists. There is a jobs here, there is this, who want this. So it's great to have that. Where are you going to have this? 300 people that they are helping you for free.
I'll be in coalitions with people and I'll have known them through the Revson program, and we've had a shared experience, and they definitely have an intellectual curiosity about what makes the world work, and they have a very long-term commitment to making the city a better place to live.
We said in the original brochure that we wanted people who were old enough to know what they wanted to do. This really attracted an unusual group of people because there was no academic requirement to get into the program. It was all aimed at leadership in the city.
I said, me? They're not going to take me. There is a lot of organizers here that may be doing a better job than me. And they've been in the movement for 30, 40 years. They're not going to take me. She said, just try it. Your story is totally different, and try it.
We've had applicants who had PhDs. We've had applicants who don't even have a high school diploma. So we're really looking for a hunger for ideas, and we're trying to serve the public. And if you really want to serve the public, you have to be as open as possible.
You take somebody who spends all day long, as a community organizer, working on nitty-gritty issues that affect poor people, and you're able to be at Columbia and have that affiliation that has a certain value to you. It kind of lifts you up in a way.
The impact of this program has been profound, and I don't think that New York would look the same had there not been the cultivating and nurturing of these extraordinarily passionate people who were given a chance to really think and dream.
It gives social activists and people who are doing grassroots organizing the opportunity to recharge their batteries, to pick up some skills, and renew their efforts when they leave the program.
Whatever I can do to touch new potential Revsons, to interact with current Revsons, to help think strategically about the program and its future, I'm happy to do.
It's hard to live in New York City without feeling that you're trying in some way to contribute to making it a better place to live. And Revson gave me some of the skills and some of the relationships that have made me more effective, and I'm very grateful.
It has had a large ripple effect across the city and its institutions, and that's certainly what people tell me. I know the Revson Foundation, it's the Revson Fellows. That's quite remarkable.
We just try to cater to the ways in which people want to help the city, and as that changes, so does the fellowship change. So we're never bored over here. It's always an exciting place to be.